for and the life of Elspeth Kydd. Was always going to be a fairly difficult occasion, but this is certainly more difficult. But thank you for coming. We have a lot of Elspeth's family here. We're really pleased that people have come from far and wide, including Elspeth's mother, Nora Kydd, came down from Edinburgh, and Angela Moffat, partner Tim, Sandy Kydd, and so you come in with somebody, but I wasn't introduced. But there's also Elspeth's uncle here and cousins here. I'm sure you all know who you are better than I do. I had the privilege of working with Elspeth in Bristol, but I actually met her much before at a conference in 1993, and we knew one another for many years before we actually had the opportunity to work together. Then I ended up running off to London for a job, and we were able to keep in touch through and it ended up in a published version, an article called Looking for Home in Home Movies, the Home Mode in Caribbean Diaspora First-Person Film and Video Practice. And Michael Stein and I would like to read a part of just a few minutes worth of this article, this essay, because you can really hear Elspeth's voice in it, as you will also in the film. And it's in some way by way of also introduction to the film you're about to see. My glasses on, sorry. It begins, Sifting Sand, Fragments of a Family History, 1946. A photograph taken of two family groups separated by a short distance. There is a corrugated iron wall to one side and a large opening to the other. Both groups are dwarfed by the surroundings. The family on the left includes my mother, grandparents, uncles, and aunts. There at the pier, as my Uncle Harold prepares to either arrive from or return to the U.S. on one of his occasional visits to Trinidad. It is the post-World War II period. People are coming and going. The U.S. Army presence is decreasing, and Trinidadian servicemen are returning from the war. As far as I can tell, my Uncle Harold is taking the picture. He came back to visit his family in Trinidad after serving in the U.S. Army. But is he on the boat, or is he standing on the shore? Is he arriving, or is he leaving?
Talking to my mother about this photograph, I find that although she doesn't remember seeing it before, she remembers my uncle's visit. She is 22, standing in the front row in a patterned dress. I found this picture in my uncle's collection of photos and films. His collection was large, as he was the first son to leave. The family kept in touch using photographs. Many appear with inscriptions and dates written on the back. Later in my research, I come across another copy in my grandmother's album in the family home in Trinidad. It was probably sent to her by her son. This exchange of photographs becomes an act of mediated communication, a visual extension to the letters and cards that link a family separated by the process of diaspora. As John Di Stefano claims, transnational kinship is often characterized by the physically absent members of one's family made present through mediated forms. More often than not, it is the displaced person who attempts to make tangible what is missing and absent.
As I look through old family photographs, my uncle's collection, those from my parents, photographs from the family home in Trinidad, the attempt to construct a coherent story or a clear picture of the family through its movements and shifts reminds me of the words of an old calypso song I learned as a child. All day, all night, Miss Mary Ann down by the seaside sifting sand. The song comes from that same era, from the Calypsonian Roaring Lion, a song for the carnival celebrations of 1945 at the end of the war. I've always been struck by the lyric of this song and the strangeness of what Miss Mary Ann is doing. What, after all, is the purpose of sifting sand? It is a futile activity, yet sand sifting has become for me a metaphor for the dual processes of theorizing and practicing Caribbean family autobiography, a deceptive process, difficult and with no hope of the ultimate goal. There will be no clean beach of sand, no clear story to recount. But in the best traditions of structural materialism, the process is the goal. Can you sift sand without feeling the joy of the beach and the pleasure, frustration of sand falling between your fingers? Can you search through the images of family history, listen to the memories recounted, and revisit the sites of past lives without experiencing the joy of the search or the pleasure of acknowledging the incoherent, fragmented, and unstable narrative that emerges?
My family photographs are not unlike many others, often documenting ritualistic moments of clan unity, weddings, births, baptisms, birthdays, anniversaries, parties, reunions, holidays, Christmases. They are located in the spaces of these celebrations, homes, churches, tourist sites. Yet this image captures another moment, travel towards and away from a home. It is located on the pier, a liminal space of mobility. The family is surrounded and dwarfed by the context, an image that captures, for me, the ambiguities of departure and return that characterize a Caribbean diaspora experience. There are many images of travel in my uncle's collection, pictures of and from ships in the 1940s and 1950s, planes and airports from the 1960s onward. The only film he has of my immediate family catches us with an unstable, shaky camera in the airport in Trinidad, preparing to leave after a holiday in 1973. We are a diaspora family, frozen in still images that evoke mobility.
This is a postscript to the essay. After I'd written the initial drafts of this essay, I came across personal evidence to support the theory that my family's home movies were part of the intricate system of communications between the separated family members. I found a letter written from my maternal grandmother to my father to congratulate my parents on my birth. In this letter, my grandmother describes having seen the first part of the reel I mentioned earlier in this essay, which you'll have to read. My brother and sister in the garden in Leland. I wonder about the logistics of this ritual viewing. My grandmother probably had to borrow a neighbor's projector to watch the reel of film sent from abroad for viewing. Without a dedicated screen in the house, the images would have been projected against a wall. Home movies were not reproducible as still images and could not be kept in multiple spaces of the dispersed family. It would have to have been returned after viewing. This is a more precious and fragile ritual of image sharing than today's world of endlessly reproducible digital capture. This brings me spiraling around in a circle, although not by any means the proverbial full circle, to
January 2008, I approached the pier in Port of Spain by boat, with a camera in my hand, as my uncle probably did over 50 years earlier. Through the viewfinder, the frame includes my mother in the foreground and the background of approaching new high-rises climbing out of the building sites. I am documenting another moment of return. My mother has not been in Trinidad in over 20 years. She is coming back for a 6-week break that will include her first sight of Carnival since the 1962 celebration documented in the Old Home movie. The sea journey seems forced, more orchestrated for the video opportunity and its narrative significance than a documenting of a moment of homecoming. Of course, we flew over the Atlantic. Few people travel across by ship anymore, however poetic the visual metaphor may be for evoking the history of the Black Atlantic. The ship is only the short hop ferry that brings us over from Tobago, where we arrived on the cheap tourist shuttle. We are a modern diaspora family. Our journeys are contingent rather than mythic or tragic. Our wanderings are economic migrations rather than enforced exiles. Our homecomings are always tinged with the knowledge that home itself is not a stable space, but a shifting signifier, an uncertain place. Trinidad is no longer my mother's home, and it never was mine. If Richard Fung felt discomfort in the old family films where I have sought comfort, this is where my discomfort lies. The power of the image laying over the sheen of professionalism that was once much more organic in the amateur mode.
I've never met anybody more dedicated to her family, more interested in her background and heritage and the complications therein. To me, this film is a gift. A gift to the family, a gift to the rest of us. And I think she really left a part of her with us in this film. So, Stone Street.
Well, I came here to watch Elspeth Keith's film documentary Stone Street. Well, before I came, I didn't realize that she's not here anymore. Well, I know her a couple of years ago through a conference called A Documentary Now. She was presenting a paper about her film, and at the time I think she just started making this film. Because personally I'm very interested in autobiographic first-person documentary, and me myself is also a filmmaker making films about my own family, my own experience living across different cultures. I feel this film is touches me in different ways. I love her voiceovers, very poetic, and I love the home footage, or the 8mm or the VHS home movies, and that's, for me, I think, even though that's very personal, it's not just about one single family or one single person. That experience is universal. Everyone, well, many people right now living in this very globalized world have that experience living across continents, across different cultures and countries. Yeah, and that's kind of the film of Elspeth brings us together to kind of have a moment, think about who we are, where we are from, and a moment to record our own history, family history. I think that's brilliant. At least, yeah, the film gave us 73 minutes to be in a moment to remember who we are. Yeah, thank you.
My name's Chris Cherry. I'm here to view the film, Elspeth's film, Stone Street, and I was blown away by it. It was very moving, it was very artistic, and it seemed to span so many issues and so many aspects of both the Cherry family and coming from the Caribbean generally. I was really gobsmacked by it, and a wonderful experience, really.
I'm Tanya, I'm 20 years old. I'm Paul Cherry's daughter and Max Cherry's granddaughter. We've just come out of seeing Elspeth's film, and it was very moving, and it made us all really kind of want to just spend more time together, I think. There's plans for hopefully a visit to Trinidad in the near future, I hope. But yeah, it was very moving and a very, very brilliantly shot film, brilliantly written.
Good. So are you going to make a film now?
No way, I'm not artistic at all.
No?
But I'm definitely going to make more of an effort with my family. It just made me want to I don't know, keep in contact with everyone, and just made me realise the importance of family. It was very moving, it was lovely. I really liked it, it was an amazing film.
I'm Angie, I'm Elspeth's cousin, one of the many, many first cousins, and I'm here to honour her because I saw the film in Bristol and cried all through it, and it was just so wonderful. I just thought, I've got to come and see it again, and this time I was able to maintain control. It was the film was just so much more than I expected, because I thought it was just going to be a record of the family. It turned out to be so much bigger, because it's meant so much to so many people. To me, because other than family, it's my story. My story as an immigrant. I emigrated from Trinidad when I was quite young, I was a teenager, and many of the thoughts that everybody else expressed there were mine, and that was pretty special for me. That was amazing.
I'm Janelle Cherry.
Okay, and why have you come to this cinema today?
I've come to bear witness to Elspeth's legacy that she's left us. I did not have the pleasure of meeting Elspeth, but I do feel closer to her having watched this film, and it's great because I was able to bring my fiancé to have a look at this with me, and I really feel like he's getting a feel for our heritage, something that I am very proud of, and I probably didn't know how proud I was until I watched this film, and I just see how many generations have gone before us, and it's really lovely to feel this connected and to feel right smack dab in the bosom of our family and our heritage. I think Elspeth has left us a wonderful gift and legacy that will live on and inspire many more memories. I'm so happy just to be here and to be a part of this, and I think it's great, and I can't wait to get home tonight and call up Mummy and Daddy and my sister in Trinidad and tell them what it was like, because they've all seen the film before and it was just me who was waiting to catch up. So this is great because this is another way that we've connected, and it helps to bridge that distance between me being the only one here and them all being back home, but it does make it feel like the world's a little bit smaller and we are all connected, which is fantastic.
My name is Max Cherry, and I'm one of the cherries that the film was about.
And what did you think of the film?
Very enlightening. Some of the things I had forgotten myself.
Okay. So is that the first time you've seen it?
First time, yes.
Wow. And how do you feel about the filmmaker?
She's done a very good job. It's taken her a long time, but she got there in the end.
How long did it take her?
A number of years, I think. Going backward and forward from Trinidad to Scotland and to Canada and all over the place. You know, it took her some time.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I wasn't late.